Hello, once again, another match for the ultimate contest. It is ya boy Skylork at rank 3 defending against Mr. Harley Quinn at rank 5. Joining me once again today is Mr. Wick, my trusty companion when it comes to commentating.
Hello, everyone. Where'd
And
you go?
we have the Chrome versus Hunter, which we've seen several times. What are we expecting here?
I just noticed Harley is running a long stun and a long RD,
Harley has a long
which,
RD on almost all of his ships.
yeah, and I'm not sure if that's what he wants against the Chrome, because Sky can take advantage of it if he just plays it right.
Well, on paper, every ship can take advantage of it. Chrome is one of the better ships to do it on, I feel. To do it against. Because it
Yeah,
doesn't have the best burst damage.
I just feel like he can put his protector up and then brawl it out and kill him through his RD. I mean, kill Harley.
Um, it's possible. It depends a bit how early Harley puts the RD.
Yeah, and how strong the OS hit is.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, with OS forcing, like forcing an early RD out of Hardy, I don't know. Like, it's not as bad to get forced if it's a long, I feel. It's kind of good, honestly, in that regard. Like, you feel a lot worse if your if your RD gets forced at 70%.
Yeah, and especially with the strong speed act, he's gonna
Yeah.
get it back in basically no time.
We're just
And
range
there it
exploiting
is.
for now. Sky just
Yeah,
getting his resets in.
there it is. The RD and speed act combo. I think Harley knows he's wasting CDs, so he might try to AB in while he still has his RD running, since
I don't
Sky
know,
also
like,
used
he
his.
has no real way to get on
Ooh,
top
what
of Sky for
an
now.
interesting protector.
He wants to
But
avoid the Custodian, clearly.
yeah,
See,
that
there's the
stun is
stun. He would have
yeah.
lost the CQ, the PvP now if he didn't put his protector up. I don't know. I think the logic is he's gonna actuate anyway for his RD, so he might as well get a prot as well and get that cooldown working.
I was actually expecting him to magnet Harley here,
No.
seeing as Harley's RD ran out,
Yeah,
and
but he
he
gets
used
it
his.
back very quickly. It's like
Yeah,
Sky
I know, but
tends to just not offensive magnet, which I think is correct, because if he does that, then he forfeits all control over the match, pretty much. Like, he's breaking the range exploit, but if he then doesn't win the brawl afterwards, he's in trouble.
yeah,
Pretty
that's
good
true.
hit, but AB's back out. Might be a bait here. Let's see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Harley decides to do.
he just wants Harley to use his RD.
Well,
That's all he's
he
doing.
wants Harley to AB
And
in, I think.
well, that
But
would be ideal, but he's not going to. The thing
well,
is,
a
this
man can dream.
this time, this time Harley doesn't have his speed act running, so he is gonna take slightly longer to get his RD back. And if Sky can make use
There's
of
the
that window,
actuate.
he should definitely use his what's it called, the magnet offensively.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you only use the magnet offensively if you can actually ensure that it's enough to. Ooh, magnet and stun. See, this
Ooh,
is what I mean. Like, this is why you can't risk that stuff. He used magnet now. It didn't even break the range exploit, and barely
yeah,
did any
but
damage to Harley. It's just so risky to go for that offensive play. Harley is.
I
He's gonna
also
do his fancy
personally,
OS on
I
Mantis play.
I also personally am not the biggest fan of rapid magnets in 1v1s, precisely because of what just happened here.
Well,
Like, Harley got out and he still had his AB running.
true, but like the advantage of the rapid is that against most ships it's a reset button as long as they don't have AB. And if they AB and you didn't, then you know you just wait their AB out and then you AB yourself and you've still reset. You get that reset more often with the rapid. You don't need it to be strong for that. I think the rapid is the better defensive option. The strong is the better offensive option.
Yeah, I
Would be
just
my
stopped for
summary.
the balanced one. I think it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I can see your point, and Harley just... I mean, Harley is gonna have trouble killing Skylork with this style, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's just refusing to go in. And because he has the faster ship and, you know, the stun, he is going to slowly chisel at this. He is now A being in, but yeah, like, he
I'm
doesn't...
not sure about the preemptive prot. I think we're just in for another reset then.
Most likely, well... I mean, Sky already got stunned a second ago, so the logic is that he might as well use the prot there for HP purposes. Because he's not gonna use it for stun prevention anyway,
Yeah,
if it just
yeah,
got used.
fair point. Ooh, he is gonna get stunned here though, yeah.
No, that's the Custodian stun. Hardy stunned him earlier. Still on cooldown. He will get the stun very soon. He might stun him. This is
Yep.
Hardy's stun.
There it is. And
Well, now it's
I
a
think,
crit OS and Elsie's out. But he's on top of 3
I think
harvesters.
Sky's just dead,
I think
yeah.
he's
One
dead,
hit,
yeah.
yep, yeah.
Well, you can never count out a crit OS, you know?
Yeah, I just didn't see it happening
Not
through
in the middle of
Harley's
3
RD and
harvesters.
all these mantis here.
Good positioning by Harley. Definitely a calculated play there.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely not just chasing Sky.
No. None of that. Don't disrespect Harley, okay? He thinks about everything, this man. But yeah, pretty solid. Harley just very consistently staying at range and chiseling down at the CDs. Well
Yeah.
played by Harley. I feel like
Yeah,
Sky,
indeed.
yeah, it's difficult to break the range exploits. The offensive trap, the way he put it was a mistake though, like, that was his chance. It's an opportunistic matchup for Sky, where he has to, like, find the moment to get in. And with Harley's actuator usage, I feel like Sky could have leveraged the spot where he had actuator, Harley does not, he gets the AB faster. But
Yep.
yeah, it's a tricky play. And Skylork
I'm also-
selects the tag for the next system.
Yeah, I'm also kind of intrigued by his choice, because he's basically giving away his what he's gonna be flying, since he only has a Chrome for Jack.
Well,
I'm not sure what he's hoping for here.
Chrome
I know
is his, like, bread and butter, I guess. It's the ship he's
Yeah,
most famous for.
True, but he could have picked Miser or so and still got out with Chromium without letting Harley know that he's gonna be flying a Chromium. That's what I meant.
True. What ships does Hardy have in Draconis then? I don't really know.
Ah,
but...
I can't list them, but I know he has a lot.
Okay.
He has a wide variety to choose from.
Oh, we're gonna do a mirror matchup.
Oh,
Ain't that
Chrome
some
v
shit?
Chrome, yeah.
So, who's gonna dodge more OSs, do you think?
Or whose OS is gonna crit harder.
That's the more pessimistic way of looking at it. No. We're gonna see some epic dodges here, come on.
Hold on, do we have some weird tech from Harley again? Nope, not this time.
No long RD on this one? I expected a long RD here, but doesn't
I
have
guess
it.
he doesn't. Yeah, I guess
So he
doesn't
has
use
it where
for
you don't
every
expect
ship.
it, and he doesn't have it where you do expect it. That makes perfect sense. Also, interestingly, playing a division drone, I'm not sure if he's just drone toggling.
Probably is, yeah. I think
Try to keep an eye
Sky.
on that. Sky
I
doesn't
think
have
Sky
drone.
also is.
Sky is always drone toggling because he needs to commit 2 drones to have a space ball. He needs to commit both the dedicated attack drone and the dedicated armor drone to mimic a space ball. So he's always toggling.
Ooh.
Tries to dodge
Wait.
but doesn't get it. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's the Oh yeah, it's the strong OS. That was a really weak hit. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Sky just stays in range and just wins.
Chrome
Yeah.
armor. Well,
Oh,
there's a
really
There's a
early.
lot more hits worth of RNG to be had, but yeah,
Really
Harley
early
opened with
RD
prots
for
as
him,
well,
though.
right?
Yeah, Harley opened with
Yeah,
prot. He
that's a
still had
mistake. He's
his
not gonna get the
RD.
second prot most likely. Right, Sky gets the second OS before Harley gets the second prot. Sky
Yeah.
RD's early, but it didn't overheal, I don't think.
I think all he needs to do is just stay on top of Harley at this point.
I think he wins, yeah. It's
It'd
gonna come down a
be-
little bit to the hit. If the OS hit is low now for Sky, then there's a chance that Harley gets to the prot. Ooh, nice play by Harley. Just drops the magnet to... Yeah, that's well done.
And then Sky just wants to get rid of
Sky
it
gets...
instantly.
Yeah, Sky gets rid of it because that's the
burning.
bigger cooldown. He's
Yeah,
still gonna fight without having an OS. This is risky business.
I mean, he already has his RD back, so I
Yeah,
guess
but
it's fine.
Hardy should also have his prod. Hardy OSing, but gets 3 Mantis with it as well. Not a good hit.
Yeah,
So
really
Hardy
weak.
prods now, Skylork RDs, and Skylork should also get to his protector now. To his next protector, most likely.
Yeah, he will.
But yeah, Sky now has the next OS. The OSs have now been like staggered, they're out of phase with each other.
Ooh, I actually expected him to just magnet here, maybe, because his OS should be coming back really soon.
I think he doesn't
Is he
need
gonna
to.
get in
Like,
range?
he can just get the AB and...
Is it...
Ooh,
Not enough
almost.
though.
Not enough, but now
Nope.
it's still Protector, and Skylork will get, most likely get another RD after this. Hardy is not getting his next Protector.
It depends on Harley's OS right now.
Kinda, but like...
Okay, it's not good enough.
Chrome
Harley
armor
loses.
is very good. I feel like Sky almost has his next defensive item, and he just gets it as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
well
good
done.
blaster hit at the end there. That's more than 10%. Very solid.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Made
nice
use
plays
of
by
this.
both. Very smart of Hardy to drop the trap there, but should have enforced the reset a bit more instead of going back in. I get why he did it, because Sky committed an OS to getting the
DOS,
trap,
yeah.
but if Sky still has his trap, like, you're never gonna win the brawl if you're Hardy, right? Because Sky's just gonna reset the moment he sees it go bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel
but
like you can't really
guess,
fight without trap.
I guess at that point it's fine, because either he wins if he gets a ludicrous OS hit, or Sky just runs away and then they get a reset, except Harley's magnet is gonna be back first. So I think
Kinda, but
okay.
like, it's a risky way to play it. Sky is at way less danger in that play than Hardy is, I feel. Just having the trap
True,
gives
yeah.
you that safety, so I feel like Hardy should have just hard resetted there.
I'm also not sure about him using OS with so many mantis around.
Yeah, it's a difficult calculation to make. Like, you wanna use it before your enemy gets their defenses, I guess. And there's a good chance that Sky, like, is just gonna deliberately stay next to Mantis. But yeah, it does hurt your damage output a little bit. I don't know. It's a difficult dilemma.
I think at that point you just call your OS. If your opponent is forcing you to fight into a bunch of mantis, you just hold the OS until you can either guarantee a kill by using it, or just use it after your opponent does.
Well, fair enough, but it depends a bit. Well, we're 2-1.
Did you see what ships they
Skylork
picked?
gets to pick the next system.
Yeah, did you see what they came out with?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
that's why I say it's a 2-1. Well, as I say though, as I've said many times, you can never count out an OS ship. Like, Skylork is still in a much better spot than if he was in a milestone, for example. Like, OS always has comeback potential, any matchup you play it in.
Yeah.
But if there's any ship you're gonna bring to kill a Chrome, then it's gonna be an Emperor.
Yeah, and unlike the milestone, whose stun doesn't actually do anything, you can use your control item as the Chromium. Like, the magnet still works.
The Chrome is definitely... Yeah, it's not as hard of a counter matchup, but it's not fun to be the Chrome on this one.
Definitely not.
We have seen it... it was... I can't remember. During Sky versus Razor, the Chrome won against the Emp, and I believe it was Sky's Chrome that did it, not Razor's Chrome. Yeah, because Sky doesn't have it.
And it was the same system, I think.
Yeah.
It was so again.
I believe so, and then later...
Oh.
Nice OS dodge. He did have to commit... This is interesting, because Harley is committing his AB for that, so he's not range exploiting now. I don't think he needs to. He can just roll this out.
At this point he doesn't. Sky's the one who is gonna have to try and get away.
Yeah, well, Harley does need to make sure he finishes this reasonably fast. Sky only now puts the pearls. He should have just put that at the start of the fight. And now he's just gonna reset out, yeah. I think this is good by Sky. Like, the Emperor is still under, like, time pressure, because it doesn't matter how hard you counter the enemy ship, if you're fighting into an actuator, you're gonna eventually be outcycled pretty much. Harley now, once again, like, he just ABs in, because he wants to keep this pressure up, and Sky doesn't have defense at the moment. But Sky's just gonna get out. I don't think he ticks down here. No,
Yeah.
he's just fine.
Still alive. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, and now RD is. The issue is that Harley wins the counter matchup so hard that Sky is kinda almost permanently gonna be running, but Harley only needs to overstep his boundaries a little bit and an OS will finish it. Should also be noted that his perforator only works half the time now, because he's playing into an actuator. Half of the protectors that Skylork has will not have a perforator by Harley if they both use it off cooldown.
Yep, I also think this is Sky's plan. Yeah, exactly.
So here
now
it is.
now he gets Harley to commit, and he has his protector, which isn't gonna be countered by
Harley still just wins this brawl though, that's the problem. So yeah, Sky forces the RD and then just backs up again because Harley has the same defenses as he does, and Harley has more raw DPS.
I mean, I guess Harley had his RD running. I was gonna say Sky maybe could have stayed until his prot was really about to fall.
Well, Sky has no actuator there, right? Like, he just loses the direct fight. If you put these ships against each other, it doesn't matter that you have an OS. SB and Thermo, well, Thermo would be on cooldown, but SB Blaster is just more raw DPS than Blaster OS by a large margin. Harley's gonna tank an OS hit, not a very high one though.
I don't think Harley's gonna get RD back.
Ooh, Harley makes a mistake here. He puts the perforator when there's no prot.
Yeah.
That might come back to bite him a little bit. He is in a range exploiting position and Sky is down on defense.
Don't you think Sky could have just stayed and committed? I don't think Harley would have got his RD back in time.
It's a difficult call. It depends on... Like, Sky currently has no defense. He's just now getting his RD back. His protector doesn't count. He has it, but he needs to wait for the perf to run out before he can use it. So,
yeah,
he's choosing to use it now. It will last a little bit. Ooh, almost gets it, but not quite. He needs the RD now.
Does he have it? No. I think he's... Oh, he got it back.
Gets it just in time. Also traps for safety. Harley is down on defense now, and the perforator should run out pretty soon.
Yeah, I think
Sky wins. Harley's just killing the trap now. It's desperately trying to get out. There's the perf going out. Sky should win this brawl now, unless if Harley does have the faster ship.
No, he can't get away.
Well,
they
both
like
AB. That multiplies the speed difference, right? But Harley's not flying in a straight line.
He's
a bit too far
exactly.
to the left.
Exactly.
Nah, he's turning back now as well. OS should finish him. Ooh, he gets the prot.
Yep.
I think Sky overcommit now?
Sky still wins. He still wins. Yes, speed is just too OP. No, he still wins. Speed is too OP.
Hit.
I mean, if he misses...
I mean, 25%. That's 1 SB, 1 blaster short. It's closer than you give it credit for, I think. But
he did miss 1 blaster though.
Yeah, true. Well, I think that's pretty much what I said. Like, this was almost a 5-minute match. That's just the Emperor gets outcycled. Like, if you're against an actuator and you don't have one yourself, you gotta keep the pressure up. You can't let the match go long. That's just Sky outcycling.
I like how after they chose their ships, we were both like, okay, 2-1 Harley, and then Sky won.
Well, I immediately made disclaimers like, can't count out an OS ship, and Harley is on a timer. I feel like that second one is what happened here. It wasn't a crazy crit that decided this, it's just Sky managed to drag the match out long enough where he just objectively had more items than Harley because of actuator advantage.
Should be stated though that Harley's loss is largely his own fault, especially that perforator at the end.
I feel like that's a bit of an aggressive way to commentate, but we'll let it slide.
I don't mean anything bad by it. It's
definitely a small misplay. I feel like, well, it makes sense because at that moment Sky was low on defense. He effectively, like, preemptively knocks off the protector as a defensive option, and he's trying to just kill Sky before his perf runs out.
Yeah, so, I guess. Though, if you're gonna do that, I guess you should be absolutely sure that you can stay in range and win.
Yeah, true. I feel like, in general, Harley needed to just stay on top more, like stay on top of Sky more, just never let him run. Ooh, Skylork with an Emperor in Mizar. I believe this is a new acquisition. I haven't seen him in this before.
I was just about to say that I've never seen Sky and an
No,
Emperor.
I believe this is new.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Well, if you're gonna buy a new ship, Mizar Emperor, you know, the objectively best ship in Mizar in my opinion, because while normally Emperor has one weakness, the Hunter, Hunter suffers more in Mizar than Emperor does. So I feel like in Mizar that matchup is a lot more 50-50 than it is in other systems.
Yeah, and do you see what Harley came out with?
Not
The
the
Locust?
best ship. So
Yeah,
considering how the
also.
last match went, this is now a 2-2. That must be how this works. Well,
Before you say that, I want you to scan Harley's ship and tell me what you see.
I see a strong aggro bomb that's gonna win the game.
I mean, I see, judging by his build, a really easy way for Sky to just,
I mean,
outright
Sky is
win the
just
fight.
gonna walk in and kill him, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to happen here. But it should be noted, we're being a bit cynical about this. Locust, on paper, is among the better ships at killing an Emperor. Like, there aren't many ships that are good at killing an Emperor. In fact, there are two, I think. Can't think of much more. But
You're thinking of the Hunter and what else?
VQ is a roughly 50-50 depending on how you
Yeah.
play it. Like, I'd say it's slightly Emp favored, but it's pretty close. Those are the only two that have like a close matchup. But outside of those two, I feel like Locust is one of your better picks. Like, there's a few memes you can do. Like, you can try to go for a Disruptor and just nuke him down. You can try to go for a Parsec or a Rare Storm is actually a fairly solid option, provided the Emperor isn't very good at range exploiting. But Locust on paper, like, you have burst potential, you have a Perforator to nullify his defense, and you will eventually outcycle it if you can survive long enough, because you have stun advantage. The issue is you just kinda get out DPS and die before any of that fun stuff happens.
I feel like that ship is just way, and I mean way too reliant on its bomb. Like, if you get a good bomb hit, it's gonna be a good time for you.
Locust historically was just a bomb ship. Like, its entire design is optimized to go bomb someone. Like, you have a stun so they can't dodge it. You have a perf to nullify shields on it, and then you have your protector to not get stunned while you're going in for it. This used to be back in the days where CQs had gravitons. I'm talking like 4 years ago, for the younger viewers on this. Like, CQs used to just have Gravi spam, there were no rules against it. Locust back then was the best CQ ship, because you would just put your perf, you'd put your prot, yellow Gravi, you AB in, you can't get stunned, opponents can do nothing against you, you red Grav bomb, pink Grav bomb again, everything around you is dead, and there's no counter to it. This is also before magnet traps were a thing, before anyone says that that would be a good counter. So it was just an optimized bomb platform, but in today's meta where the bomb just isn't an item, pretty much, at least not a good item. Oh, he does get a stun on the AB. That's very good for Hardy. It is a long stun, which means that he's now going to be out of range until the AB actually ends. But yeah, Skylork doesn't get the prot up early enough, and that means that Hardy did effectively break the range exploit. Also a very early RD, which is what he needs to do. Sky RD is really early. Scared of the bomb, I guess, but this could be interesting, because Sky's RD runs out like 15 seconds before Hardy's does. So Skylork is gonna be whittling down Hardy here, but Hardy just needs to get a bit of HP now and then a bomb. This is pretty close.
Harley might win this, actually.
He still has RD running, it just depends on the hits now.
Maybe he's gonna get bursted down. It's gonna be fair.
Ooh, yeah, 24% though. That was well played by Hardy, all things considered. Like, Skylork got the hits he needed at the end there, pretty much. But Sky misses one blaster there, and Hardy wins that fight. Like,
I think so, yeah.
No question about it.
He didn't have long on his RD left, but still. Would have been even closer. I think it would have been too close to call, honestly.
I feel like this is about as good as it can be, The only thing is, if Hardy would have had a strong stun, he would have gotten a few extra blasters in. Because of the long stun,
Yeah.
Skylork was still out of range until the AB ended, and then he was still stunned. Hardy walks back into range, but with a strong stun, I feel like Hardy... That might have been enough of a difference to just give Hardy the win outright. Because that's like
Probably, yeah.
2-3 extra blasters, that's a big deal. But yeah, well
I
played.
honestly agree with you, yeah.
That's what I said, like, Locust, on paper, among the better counters to Emperor.
The thing I don't like about it, about using it into prot ships particularly, is that it has two conflicting items. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying.
yeah, so you can stun them, then they put their protector up, and there you have a choice. Like, either you put your perforator up, and just deal damage to the hull, or you can do something else that might also reap benefits in the future. You can bomb the prot, so you can keep the stun running and then gain a CD's advantage. Kind of.
Yeah. I've seen that pretty often. It depends a bit on what you play against. Like, generally what you can do is the first time round, like the first rotation, the first cycle of the PvP, whatever fancy word we're using. And Hardy brings out a serious Emperor, by the way, so quite
With a
curious what
longer
Sky's
D
gonna bring
again.
out. Well, yeah, but it just depends, right? Like, if Sky brings his Chrome into this, then he's at a disadvantage regardless of the RD. And if he brings his Emperor, his Hunter, he just wins outright. Like, no chance.
There's no way he can.
But what I was saying was, like, I think the first time you just put your perf to force the RD, and then the second time when he has more items in cooldown, then you force your, like, you bomb the prots, get your stun in, take the advantage that way.
Yeah,
That's
I guess it
usually
kind of
the way to
depends
do
on.
it, but it depends what you're flying.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on how many and which items you're trying to hold
Depends
back
on the
by
matchup
using
as
the
well.
stun.
Like, if your opponent is an actuator ship, like a Chrome for example, then your perf only counters half of the protectors anyway. So then half of them you shoot down for the stun, and the other half you perf through.
Yep.
But yeah.
Also, we see Skylork Hunter.
It is a
which...
Hunter, which means that
It's
it's now a
probably
very
GG
tough
for
match
Harley.
for Harley. But we're gonna see, like... Basically, the way to do is just a Sky offering a switch in the ships.
I don't think Harley's gonna go for it. Yep.
No, he doesn't agree to it.
He never does. He just goes with whatever's picked. He doesn't want to change.
Fair enough. Well, it's his good choice. Good sportsmanship by Sky to offer it, though. The longer he tells me you're not.
Sky noticed.
Toxic. No. We're gonna see, but, like, what Hardy needs to do is just... Well, I'll defend the long RD in one aspect. The Emperor only wins this matchup, even with a normal RD. The Emperor only wins this matchup by, like, range exploiting a lot, right?
Yeah.
Long RD is better at range exploiting than balanced is. In my opinion, that's like the one situation where I'd rather have a long RD than a balanced. Everything else I'd rather have a balanced. But if you're gonna go for range exploiting...
As you've previously pointed out, the Hunter is the quicker ship, and also Harley didn't fly in a straight line, so I think she's just dead here, honestly.
Most likely.
Yeah. Sky gets in range. Oh, he uses a really early RD though.
He doesn't want to get, like, he knows he's ahead, so he doesn't want to get thermal bursted down. And Hardy also with a pretty early prot, so he's just gonna get stunned now. Stun.
Yep.
GG.
And there it is. Yep. Now he's dead through RG. Yep.
Guy drops pretty low, 25%. Like, that's fighting into a long RD in pretty much as ideal of a situation as Skylork could have hoped for. Still drops to 25%. But that means it's a 4-1 for Skylork, defending his title as the third placeholder for the time being. And yeah, Hardy will hopefully try another day. I think it was good PvPs. I don't think the final score really represents the plays we saw. Hardy made a lot of very good plays, but just not enough to squeeze out a win.
I think all of the fights were actually fairly close, especially if you look at the amount of HP they had at the end.
Yeah.
It
But
wasn't
Skylork
just
does take it.
Sky stomping on Harley, as the score would suggest.
No, definitely not. But yeah, GG's, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.